Hi, everybody. My name is Patrice Gillespie. I'll just tell you a little bit about myself. I live in Ridgefield, Connecticut, and I I grew up on a farm in Pennsylvania, not too far from Philadelphia, but very far. It's sort of culturally because it was really rural. My home was on a dirt road when my parents bought it. And Uncle Al up the road, he was the farmer. My dad was a businessman. So living in that region, I got a feeling for what sustainability is really like. When I went to college in Boston, I majored in English literature, um, mostly British poetry. And when I was a senior, I took a class called ecology. And when I took that class, I was like, damn, I majored in the wrong thing. Ecology was, I didn't realize that it had a name of what I was passionate about. I was mostly in public relations and marketing until about 15 years ago when I got hired as the executive director of the Norwalk River Watershed Association. And I was working with 7 municipalities, basically on sustainability and learning how to prevent water pollution and responsible care of our environment. That led to a job with the Connecticut Sierra Club. And again, working with municipalities, there was a program then that was called Cool Cities. And it was basically a 12-step program for municipalities to cut their addictions to fossil fuels. And mayors and first selectmen across the state would sign this agreement. And that just got me really excited. So, that's how I started to learn about clean energy and energy efficiency. One of the most recent things that I was involved with, I was lucky enough to work with Bob Wall and Smart Power on a program called Power Smart. And this was an educational program whereby people who either had solar on their homes or wanted solar were introduced to the fact that there are incentives available to help them afford a battery backup system for their home. So, if you designed it right and paid attention to your equipment, you could go off the grid at night and you would have power when there was a power outage. So I thought that was pretty cool. And it gave me new vocabulary. I had been sort of specializing in energy efficiency. I'm delighted to be a part of the effort to make Connecticut, so much more sustainable. And the way we do that is to encourage municipalities and residents therein to push harder for renewable energy, to put solar on more buildings, businesses, all these flat roofs out there with no solar. I don't, this has to change. And to insulate town hall, things like that will cut our energy requirements and make us more sustainable. I do get stressed out, when things don't go my way. So, to de-stress, I'm a bird watcher. And I hike around town with friends. Um, I took a permaculture design class several years ago, and that sort of piqued my interest in how we could use available resources in a much wiser way. One of the things I learned from permaculture is that waste is a resource in the wrong place. And so I'm very conscious about the amount of single-use things in our lives. The other interest that I have right now is co-housing, which is sort of, an answer to the housing shortage. So I'm investigating that and seeing how maybe some of the overly large homes or unoccupied buildings can be retrofitted to house people who are interdependent and share resources and have a greater sense of community. So that's kind of what drives me